So let's further move in our next lecture on the next topic, that is we are going to study a little bit about the structure of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane that we have, and how does the movement of ions and the other things takes place across it. So as we all know that, so this is our, I would say, cell membrane. This is our cell membrane which is being there. This cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer. It has hydrophilic head, and these green ones are the hydrophobic tails. Alright, so we have this thing. Now when we talk about the movement or the present, how does it take place? So just need to understand that. I'll just use another color. So if I would say, so I'm using green color to depict what things can go inside the cell and can go outside the cell. Okay, so here I would say CO2, oxygen, nitrogen, any type of drugs, alcohol, they all can penetrate through this membrane. But in the case of molecules like water, sodium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion or potassium ion, these cannot enter inside the cell or go outside the cell. Reason is behind because of the structure of the plasma membrane, which is a phospholipid bilayer. Charged molecules cannot cross it by their own. One more thing, here you will see that water is not a charged molecule, but water is a polar molecule. So it also cannot cross the membrane. Now here you need to understand one more thing, that whatever molecules negatively charged, so we have certain things like if you have any negatively charged molecule which is entering inside the cell, they have to molecule entering inside the cell, what they have to do, they will bind with magnesium ion, with magnesium, for their process or whatever work they have to perform. Now such examples are, if you just consider the examples, who are such molecules who does this thing, is ATP, GTP, CTP, TTP, DNA, RNA and ribosomes. All these molecules require magnesium to bind, and in the absence of magnesium they cannot do that. So now let's move ahead in the lecture and just understand a very major ion, which is calcium, and how does it enters and where does it goes, and what happens if something goes wrong with the calcium, or if it increases or it increases, what can be the. So let's move further. So now let's understand the calcium, which is an important ion present and which is required for the survival of the or for the other functionings. So here you need to understand that once the calcium enters inside the cell, it goes and it binds with this, and this is basically calmodulin. So if there is any excess calcium entering inside the body, it is being binded first with the calmodulin, then it binds, it is being taken to the endoplasmic reticulum. It will be taken over there, which is this one. The calcium will be taken over here. Then it will go to the, I'll just write over here, mitochondria, which is this one. After that, it binds with the vesicles, and later then it is being taken out from the system. Another very interesting part is that if suppose you have any hormone or any enzyme which is being there, for them to be secreted from the cell depends on the concentration of the cell which is present inside the cell. So if you want your hormones and enzyme secretion to take place, the calcium is very important for it. Now just understand one thing, that I just make some small diagram over here. Suppose these are the cells that we have, and these are actually being placed in the fluid. This fluid is termed as tissue fluid. Okay, this is being termed as tissue fluid. Now, if suppose in the case of if suppose the concentration of the hormone which is being called as parathyroid, concentration of parathyroid. If the concentration of the parathyroid hormone increases, it has increased, it increases, what it will do, it will basically absorbs calcium from blood. Okay, now the calcium has been absorbed due to the increased concentration of parathyroid hormone from the blood. This will cause a disease called as osteoporosis. Osteoporosis simply means hollow bones. Alright. We have learned about the concentration of the ions present inside and outside the cell. How does they move? What type of membrane potentials are being there? We have learned 3 types of membrane potentials which are over here. We have learned the structure of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, which is a phospholipid bilayer. It's hydrophobic and hydrophilic one. The plasma membrane only allows the entry of the hydrophilic molecules because of the head which is being present. Otherwise, the molecules cannot enter. We have seen that the water cannot enter because it is a polar charged molecule. Charge is present on it. Any molecule which is entering inside the cell requires the magnesium to be binded, especially the negatively charged molecules such as ATP, CTP, GTP, TTP, DNA, RNA, ribosomes. They all require. We have learned that how does the calcium, suppose the calcium concentration increases inside the cell, it first binds to calmodulin, then it binds to endoplasmic reticulum, then it goes to endoplasmic reticulum if it's more. Further, if it increases more, it goes to the mitochondria, and if it increases more, it goes to vesicles, which is over here, and later it's been diffused out from the cell. In case the concentration of the parathyroid hormone increases in the blood, the concentration of the hormone increases inside the blood, it absorbs the calcium ions from the blood and leads to a disease called osteoporosis, which is called hollow bone. So this is all for the today's lecture. I hope you have liked it. If you have liked it, please do like, share, subscribe my channel and follow for more. Thank you.